Now, you know, I reviewed my share of mobile workstations here on this channel over the years, and I'm a big fan of the category because they bring a great CPU-GPU combination in a somewhat portable package, but really what it is good for is those ISV certified applications that need that kind of graphics horsepower, that need that CPU power as well. So I received one a few weeks ago here into the studio for review from HP. It's the ZBook Fury 16 G10 here for 2023. And the Fury is no accident as far as the name. It does bring a furious amount of power under the hood. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is the HP ZBook Fury 16-inch mobile workstation, the Gen 10, here for 2023. Coming up.
Now, before we get to the unit itself, I just want to let everyone know, in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by HP, I'm not being sponsored by HP. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. HP is not getting copy approval. That means they're seeing this video for the first time, just like you. Now, this unit is on loan from HP, and once this review is done, I'll be sending it back. Pricing starts at $2,699. Price as tested here today, $5,429. And before you fall off the chair and say this is crazy in terms of the pricing, keep in mind this is a professional mobile workstation where the companies that are looking at this will not blink at the price. They will not think twice as long as it can get the job done. Probably one project or two projects will pay for it in spades. So just keep that in mind when you look at the pricing. And the other thing to keep in mind, HP tends to run a lot of sales, so always check the link in the description below for more information and the latest pricing. You know the drill, folks. Let's get this out of the box. Okay, so here we have some documentation, setup instructions right here. As you can see there, you get some safety and warranty information, yada, yada, yada. We've seen all this before. And let's take a look at the power charger. It's a nice, beefy 230-watt barrel pin connection power adapter. And of course, you get the power cord as well. And here we have the unit itself, and I can tell you right off the bat, this thing is very premium. It does have some heft. This is a pretty beefy power CPU GPU combination here. There's no doubt about it. And there you can see it right there. Definitely pretty premium. There's the side angle. There's the front of the unit. And then, of course, there's another side angle right there. Let's see if we can open this with one finger. We can. Okay, let's get a measurement of the weight with the unit alone. 2.558 kilograms or 5 pounds, 10.2 ounces. With the power cord and with the power charger, total travel weight, 3.249 kilograms or 7 pounds, 2.6 ounces. It's a big boy, but you definitely pack a lot of punch under the hood with that CPU-GPU combination. Okay, let's check out the port selection. We're going to start off on the left side where you get your power connector. Next to that are two Thunderbolt 4 ports that support data, charge, and display out, so they are full function. And you get an HDMI 2.1 port along with a mini display port 1.4a. And you get an SD card reader, and the good news is that the SD cards sit flush with the unit. They click in, and that's going to be out of the way. You got to like that. Moving over to the right side is the optional smart card reader, a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack, two USB Type A ports, your RJ45 Ethernet LAN port, and finally a Kensington lock port to round out the ports on this unit. I would say all in all, a very good port selection. Now, HP has a great teardown video of the ZBook Fury 16 G10 workstation, and they do a really great job. I will leave a link for that video in the description below. Now, servicing is mostly toolless in this regard. All you need to do is switch over that switch there, slide off the bottom panel, and you're in. That's pretty much it, but you will need a screwdriver to remove the metal plates to get to the RAM and get to the SSD slots and so forth, so just keep that in mind. And this is what it looks like with the metal plate off. Now, once that metal plate is removed, you have 4 SSD slots. That is right, 4 SSD slots. The 1 terabyte included with my review unit has excellent reads and writes, so very good in that regard, and I like the ability to expand it out. Now, as far as the RAM is concerned, in order to get to that, you need to remove the top metal plate, as you see here. There are 4 SODIMM slots for a total of 128 gigabytes of total RAM. My review unit has 64 gigabytes of that DDR5 RAM, and it is running in dual channel mode. And the Wi-Fi card is also serviceable. The Wi-Fi card is a Bluetooth combo card. And by the way, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth is also working very well. No issues with either one. Okay, let's talk about the display, and what we're looking at here is a 16-inch IPS display with a UHD Plus resolution. That's 3840 by 2400. That is a 16:10 aspect ratio, and it has 283 pixels per inch for those wondering. Now, as far as the coverage of the color gamut, it looks really good here as far as that coverage and as well as the color accuracy. So if you're going to do content creation in Lightroom, Photoshop, video editing, color grading, things of that nature, this is a good panel to do those on. And it has good contrast, good white point, good black point. Overall, a very good panel here. Now, if you want to consume media, watching Netflix, Amazon, YouTube has also been very good with this panel. And when it comes to screen brightness, HP is claiming 500 nits. I actually got just about that, 497 nits, slightly below, but good nonetheless for indoor use. I've had no issues with screen brightness. And outdoor use, you'll notice a little bit of glare and reflection. It is a glossy display, and in direct sunlight, you might have some issues, but overall, certainly usable even outdoors, as you see here. And I love the fact that this has 120 hertz refresh rate, giving you that very smooth, very fluid experience. Of course, that's going to eat more battery life, but if you want a little bit better battery life, you can always switch it to the dynamic refresh rate, which will switch between 60 and 120 automatically, or you could always run it at 60 hertz to get a little bit more juice. Now, as you can see, there is an OLED option as well as Full HD Plus options. Of course, I have that UHD Plus option. The Dream Color display is what they're calling it, and overall experience has been excellent with that display. So this is the 5 megapixel HP enhanced camera, 1440p video. What do you think about the video quality? What do you think about the audio quality? Now, as we've been seeing with HP across the lines, all the different consumer, business, professional, and you have it, all the different lines, of course, you're getting these enhanced features. You got the background adjustment, the low light adjustment, the natural tone. You can do the auto framing. You can do wide shot. You can do portrait. Tight mode, as you see here. You could do gallery if you had more than one person over here, so you could have multiple people on there. And then, of course, you could do the background blur effect, which will come into effect right now. You can change the background, put your own background, or do outdoors, as you see here. You can do office, you can do living room, you can do cafe. I think you get the drift here, all the different options you have at your fingertips. I think HP is doing a really good job. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, a couple of things to note. This is an IR camera allowing you to log in with face recognition with Windows Hello, and there's a physical shutter switch above the camera to allow you to turn it off for more security and privacy. And there's also a fingerprint scanner located below the keyboard. That worked well, setup was easy, and registered my finger each and every time I used it. Okay, let's check out the performance, and this is running a very good processor, the Intel Core i9-13950HX that has 24 cores, 8 performance cores, and 16 efficient cores with 32 total threads. Now, this is paired with the RTX 5000 Ada Lovelace Graphics GPU from NVIDIA, which is optimized for ISV certified professional applications. So if you're an architect, if you're doing medical imaging, if you're doing 3D rendering and high-end video editing, this is the type of GPU you want to use. Now, as you can see from these results, you're definitely getting excellent single thread and multi-thread performance as indicated by these numbers. And to illustrate my point, here's the Cinebench R23 single-core score here of 2039, leading the pack, beating out the Asus ZBook Pro 16X OLED, the Dell Precision 5680, the Apple MacBook Pro 16 with the new M3 Max chipset, and as you can see from the multi-core score here, again leading the pack with a nice score of 24,432, just beating out the Apple MacBook Pro with the M3 Max chipset. Very impressive performance. And it did well in the latest Cinebench 2024 test with a GPU score of 19,086. It did a CPU multi-core score of 1265 and a single core score of 124. Overall, excellent results. Now, since I'm a content creator, when it comes to video editing and some things like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, as I have here, that's of utmost importance to me. So I ran my standard test here in DaVinci Resolve, of course, a 3-minute H.264 4K video, and it took 1 minute 35 seconds to render that video, a very impressive time. When I changed the codec to H.265, it took 1 minute 31 seconds, which is even better. So overall, excellent for video editing. And on your downtime when you're not working, you could certainly play some games on this. Certainly very playable frame rates on some of the more popular titles, as you see here. Even Cyberpunk 2077 did very well. So overall, excellent when it comes to gaming, even though this is not a gaming laptop per se. Now, HP is employing something that they are calling Vapor Force thermals with curved metal blades that apparently will help it prevent from overheating. And I think for the most part, this thermal solution has done a very good job. And when I ran the TimeSpy stress test to see if this will thermal throttle under heavy load, it scored an excellent score of 99.2%, meaning it detected very little, if any, thermal throttling. Good job on that front. And as you can see, the surface temperatures are pretty good here, although you'll notice where it dissipates the heat above the keyboard below the display, getting about 50 degrees Celsius or so, which is to be expected, but where you place your fingers on the keyboard, never getting overly hot, and that's been pretty good. And as you can see on the underside, not much of an issue at all. This vapor forced cooling solution seems to be working very well. And when it comes to fan noise, you definitely will notice it under heavy load, reaching as high as 52 decibels. Not the worst I've ever heard, but certainly not the quietest. Now, when you're in the balance mode doing everyday tasks, not much of an issue in terms of fan noise. Overall, I would say it's okay. Okay, let's check out the battery life, and the ZBook Fury 16 has a 95 watt-hour battery. It did 6 hours even on the PC Mark X Modern Office battery test. It did 4 hours and 43 minutes on the video playback test, and it did 1 hour and 28 minutes on the gaming test. So the overall takeaway is mediocre battery at best, although not too surprising here on a very powerful mobile workstation. Now, if you contrast that with the Dell Precision 5680, which has a slightly larger 99.5 watt-hour battery, the same GPU, but a slightly less powerful CPU, it did 9 hours and 42 minutes on the Modern Office test, 9 hours and 53 minutes on the video playback, and 1 hour and 40 minutes on the gaming test. The overall takeaway is the ZBook Fury 16 G10 has mediocre battery life at best. Now, for those wondering, yes, you can open the lid with one finger, and the hinges are on very well here. I saw very little, if any, screen wobble when typing. Now, as far as that keyboard itself is concerned, typing out long documents, emails, and the like has been very good. The feedback, the tactility, and the key travel has been certainly very good with that, so no complaints on that front. Now, it does have a backlight on it. It has RGB lighting, to be specific, actually, and that's a little surprising on a mobile workstation. You see that on a gaming laptop. But it gives it a little bit of pizzazz, and of course you could always change that to standard lighting, but that is a nice little option to go with as far as the aesthetics and give it a little bit of character. But at the end of the day, it does work in a dark room or a dimly lit environment, and that has worked out pretty well. Now, as far as the touchpad, it's a very interesting touchpad. There are physical mouse buttons here, which is not something we normally see very often anymore, and that actually worked out well. Tap to click works, and the two-finger scrolling was very responsive, as well as doing all the gestures. I would say overall, the touchpad worked as you'd expect. And so when it comes to the audio, we're looking at dual stereo speakers, Bang & Olufsen tuned here, and I gotta say they're actually pretty good, but I want you to be the judge. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, let's give it a listen. Okay, folks, let's wrap it all up. A lot to like here with this mobile workstation. Fast CPU, GPU performance, excellent serviceability, expandability with those 4 PCIe Gen 4 SSD slots, the 4 SODIMM slots, full coverage of the color gamut, the Dream Color 4K Plus display, 120 hertz, easy serviceability, mostly toolless, and there are plenty of ports. The negatives here is so-so battery life, noticeable fan noise under load, and yes, it can get expensive, but these are not deal breakers, ladies and gentlemen. This is the right tool for the job for many companies that are looking for a professional mobile workstation, and this certainly fits that bill. I have no hesitation recommending the ZBook Fury 16 G10 here for 2023.
So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and that platform formerly known as Twitter. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.